What's going on, guys? It's Mellon. Smash that like and subscribe button. Helps the algorithm. I know. So this is Biden highlights number 5, part 5. This one's going to be about the economy, how shitty it is. But yeah, let's check out their what's this guy? His economic advisor, economic, however you say it, economic advisor. I just saw this today. Was like, what the fuck did I just watch? I'll go show it to you on handy, and then I'll show you the actual clip. It's only like a minute long. But yeah, there's just so many things wrong right now. Like, you could do a video every day about 5 different topics on how many different things are just bad across the board. It's bad. But yeah, let's watch this one. Let's burrow. No.
Is the chairman of Joe Biden's Council on Economic Advisors. He's a proud graduate of the Manhattan School of Music. He has a bachelor's degree in fine arts, not economics. He also earned a master's degree in social work, another master's degree in philosophy, and a PhD in social welfare. Needless to say that Joe Biden's chief economic advisor doesn't know pretty much a damn thing about economics. Take a look.
The government definitely prints money, and it definitely lends that money, which is why the government definitely prints money, and then it lends that money by selling bonds. Is that what they do? There is no question that the government prints money, and then it uses that money to yeah, I guess I can't really talk. I don't get it. I don't know what they're talking about. Like, because it's like the government clearly prints money. It does it all the time, and it clearly borrows. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this debt and deficit conversation. So I don't think there's anything confusing there.
Nothing confusing there? Nothing made sense there. No wonder the economy is a complete mess. If it wasn't so awful for 60% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck, it would be funny, but there's nothing funny about how people have to live. The chairman of Biden's Council on Economic Advisors, well, doesn't understand inflation at all. The government prints money. That's all you know? But let not your heart be troubled. Your vice president is also on the case. The Biden campaign is now sending out Vice President Harris to brag about the virtues of Bidenomics when we were told last week they were going to get off the topic of Bidenomics. But according to this administration, your life has never been better. They keep telling you that. No matter how you truly feel, no matter how difficult these times are. Of course, many Americans are ready for this national nightmare to be over. That is why there is virtually no enthusiasm for Joe Biden on the campaign trail. Of course, it is a very different story for Donald Trump. Take a look.
So I was like, there's no way this dude's that dumb. They must have cut that out or something. Because I saw at one point his hands, if you watch his hands, they cut. But I found the full clip, and I was like, what the fuck did I just watch? This is legit the economic advisor to Biden. This dude is... What the fuck?
The U.S. government can't go bankrupt because we can print our own money.
It obviously begs the question, why exactly are we borrowing in a currency?
We can't go bankrupt because we print our own money. That's what he just said. But you can if you inflate it beyond the amount of what you really have in your reserve. So I'll show you the inflation here in a little bit, but the inflation is through the fucking roof with Biden. It is beyond insane. But yeah, I just had to stop that. That's what he said. He's a fucking idiot.
That we print ourselves? I'm waiting for someone to stand up and say, why do we borrow our own currency in the first place?
Like you said, they print the dollar. So why does the government even borrow?
Well, I mean, again, some of this stuff gets, some of the language that some of the language and concepts are just confusing. I mean, the government definitely prints money, and it definitely lends that money, which is why the government definitely prints money, and then it lends that money by selling bonds. Is that what they do? They
Is that what they do? Where am I? on my head? This fucking guy cracks me up.
They sell bonds. Yeah, they sell bonds, right? Because they sell bonds and people buy the bonds and lend them the money. Yeah, so a lot of times, at least to my ear with MMT, the language and the concepts can be kind of unnecessarily confusing, but there is no question that the government prints money and then it uses that money to,
right there.
yeah, I guess I can't really talk. I don't get it. I don't know what they're talking about. Like, because it's
I don't
like
know what they're talking about. You're the fucking.
the government
chief
clearly prints money. It does it all the time, and it clearly borrows. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this debt and deficit conversation. So, I don't think there's anything confusing there.
So, I was like, well, maybe he's not good in front of a camera or something, or, he's not good at giving speeches, or, camera shy, whatever. Nope, he talks a lot. Look it up. Good old Jared Bernstein. What the That's why our economy's just went to shit. Yep, there he is. Yep. Just wonderful. Wait, is that what we do? Fuck, I don't know what we do. Oh, that's great. So, yeah, we're gonna touch base just on a couple of these because he breaks it down better than anybody. We'll start with wages and then
discover hand-selected hotels around the world.
Something's playing. Actually, I'll just exit out of that. What was that at? 5. Average hourly earnings, according to...
In real terms, okay? Workers now make an average of more than $34 an hour.
But overall, from the beginning of the Biden administration, inflation has outpaced wages. See the blue line? That's wage growth. See the orange line? That's inflation. And inflation outpaced wages from April 2021 to April 2023. But that...
Did you see that? This is Trump. Blue being high, that's your wage growth versus inflation. He dropped inflation, your wages went up. Look at what happened under Biden. Completely plummeted, and inflation has skyrocketed. What the fuck is going on?
From April 2021 to April 2023. But that brings us to now. While in the last year, wages have outpaced inflation, overall under Biden, real average weekly earnings are down by 4.2%, and cumulative inflation is up 18%. Chris Hayes can show you all the lines that he wants, but he's not going to convince Americans that the economy was worse under the bad orange man than it.
All right. The next one. GDP, the big one.
Look, let's just start with GDP, gross domestic product. That is the measure and the value of all goods and services produced in the United States.
Look at where he's starting. COVID years. Well, of course it's gonna go up from COVID. Like, come on, dude. We're not that fucking stupid.
States, right? It's the size of the U.S. economy. And like the rest of the world, we saw a significant drop. See when it goes down there, the constriction, that in GDP in 2020. That was the pandemic. That was under Donald Trump's watch.
So on one hand, Chris Hayes admits that the entire world's GDP was affected by the pandemic. But then he's like, it was Donald Trump's fault.
Jobs have really bounced back. Labor force participation rate, that's the percentage of people who are in the labor force, really increasing steadily from the COVID era lows, right? It hit lows during the pandemic, and then it goes up.
But look where he starts. In January 2021, the labor force participation rate was at 61.3% and goes up to 62.5% in February 2024. However, what Chris isn't showing you is that the labor force participation rate was higher under President Trump. So as you can see, they can't and won't compare Trump's entire first term to Biden's first 3 years, because overall, things were generally better under Trump. The participation rate was high.
I mean, that's February 2024. And it's dipping again. Like, it's going down again. Jesus. And then, what was it for? Manufacturing production.
Wes, see? See how that goes?
Look at the line, you plebs! That means Biden is better. But the reality is that they're not booming. If you actually
That's the video I'm playing.
compare manufacturing under the Trump years to manufacturing under the Biden years, you'll see that they're pretty similar. And at their peak, Trump's numbers were higher.
Hospitality jobs, in particular, have bounced back after plummeting after the pandemic. Again, not a given the industry would recover fully post-COVID. You see it go down here.
And it's good that hospitality jobs have largely recovered, but the number employed in the sector were slightly higher under
That, remember they named it that? Not necessarily because it was an inflation bill, but because of this chart. Inflation, this is the whole story of the last 4 years in some way. It's the reason I think that Joe Biden's faced political headwinds.
Yes, that's what happens when you sign a climate bill that has nothing to do with inflation reduction and then call it the Inflation Reduction Act. The American people don't like being lied to.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys recall, Biden came out with a climate bill, but called it the Inflation Reduction Act. It was pretty big, like 2 years ago. They talked about it nonstop, but yeah, this is another downfall from Biden. You can make a whole fucking video about that, bro.
But look at this, since then, right? It has come way down.
It seems like Chris Hayes forgot the premise of this exercise. You see, this is where inflation was during Trump's last year in office, and this is where it all went under Biden. This is lower than this.
The unemployment rate has also dropped.
I mean, that's just every graph that they're just constantly lying to you. Constantly. Or, okay, you could say they're telling you the truth, but they're misleading. They're not telling you the full story. They're not giving you the full picture. Like, I mean, yeah, they are lying to you because they're saying that Biden's better. 100% false. But yeah, the economy is so fucking bad right now. So yeah, that'll be part 5. But you could go into I mean, look at his fucking economic advisor. Good old Jared Bernstein. Is that what we do? This is what it reminds me of. Hold on. exactly what oh, it's fucking hilarious. That reminds me of Biden's fucking economic chief advisor. I just thought that's fucking hilarious.